welcome to this training. So if we want to split this training into, this tutorial I should say, into 3 phases. The first phase would be building the grid and do some calculation, validation, and also some conditional formatting. The second step would be to do some totals, and that will help us for the chart. And the chart, actually, this would be the third step. So let's get started with the grid. For the grid, what I like to do is to have a task number to start with. This way, sometimes it's easier to refer to the task. I would put a task description. And I would put a priority quite close to the description. I would put an estimate. So estimate could be in any thing you like. Completed. Here I'm just completed. I'm just going to put completed percentage. And then we're going to put work done. And I'm just going to put work outstanding. I'm just going to put outstanding here. There's nothing outstanding really. Now, and rag. And then I'm just going to put some notes or text to allow us to have a bit of flexibility here. So this is the first thing I wanted to do. I wanted just to show you the high-level view of the grid. What I want to do is right from the get-go, I wanted to put on a background that is quite dark. So I'm just going to right-click on the stars, normal, I'm right-clicking on this, and I'm just click on Format here, and I'm going to take to the last of the blue here, the fourth. Does it have a name? I don't see the name here, but anyway, that's the fourth on the left, and that's a new Microsoft standard theme. So I'm just going to take this one, and I'm just going to click on more colors because I want it even darker than this. Darker than dark, almost black. Actually, this is quite black, we'll see. And so this is the first thing I want to do in the default, and I want to put the font in white as well. So otherwise it's not going to be very obvious what we do. Now, if I click on this, it just changes everything. So now I'm just going to put that grid. So you can obviously have as many rows as you like. Just going to put a grid here, but if I put the grid, this is all black, so I'm just going to change it with more borders, and I'm going to put the border in white. I'm going to click on outline and in inside, and that should give me the grid. Okay, let's expand all this. Now, what else do I want to do? I want to give this task number. So I'm just going to put 1 and I'm going to add 1 to all the other rows, and I'm going to just drag this down. Now the description will be quite self-explanatory. What I want to do as well is I want to give a bit of a gray background as default. Let's try with this. Obviously, it all can change. Just going to put the rows a bit bigger. Not that big, a bit bigger like this, and then the task can go here. So what else do we have? Okay, let's just go one by one. It's not very obvious here, but once we put some conditional formatting, it'll become a little bit better. So I'm just going to put task 1 here, and here I'm just going to put the priority. So the priority, I want to have it validated. It's important to have things validated, not only because it's easier for the user, but also because we're going to do some conditional formatting, and we want to make sure that users don't do any typo in the priority here. So here I'm just going to be lazy. I'm just going to go to data and data validation. And here, instead of creating a list where I can refer to, I'm just going to hard code everything here. So I'm going to put high, comma, medium, comma, and low. You can do that sometimes when you know you're not going to change anything and it's static. And there you can see that you can select it now, but I'm going to drag all this down to make sure that this is applied to the whole column. So this is done. Estimate, as mentioned, I mean, let's just going to select one here. Estimate, it could be anything, so just number. If you want to put minutes, hours, days, weeks, you can. So this will be a percentage. So I'm just going to format that as a percentage. I'm going to go to home. I'm just going to apply the percentage here. And then I'm going to put 50% here. So what is the work done? Apologies, not very clear. If I'm going to do the conditional formatting in a minute, the work done, it's a percentage completed times the estimate. So here you have done 10, and outstanding is the estimate we had at the beginning, less the work done. The rack status. So I'm just going to move the rack status here. Actually, I'm going to move those two. To make it clearer, I'll explain why I'm doing this. So this way it's a bit clearer that all the input are here, and this is all the calculated. So RAG, I'm going to do the same. Actually, I'm going to do a data validation here. Data validation, and I'm going back to my list. And here, red, oh, actually, I'm going to start with green. Oops, amber, and red. And I'm going to put it here. And before I put anything, I just drag it down to make sure that it's all there. That's it. So, and then I can select one here, green. And note it's whatever you want to input here, input text. Now, what do I want to do? I want to apply 2 levels of color to that table. The color when a task hasn't been started, a color when the task is in progress, and a color when a task is completed. So let's just select everything here. And I'm going to go home, conditional formatting, new rule. And here I'm going to put use a formula to determine which cells to format. So we cannot use the format only cells that contain, because I want the rule to apply to the full row. So here I'm just going to select a task description here. I think if the task, we don't want the task to be blank. So actually, I'm not going to bother about checking the task. That will be a bit too cumbersome to do that on the free things, on the free statuses. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to directly check if the completed percentage, which is here, and I need to make sure that the colon is locked, in other words, that there is a dollar before the I, but that the row is free, because you want to apply that to every row. So when we have 0% here, we want to have the lightest red. So which type of red? Blue, sorry. Just going to take maybe this one here. Okay. So now you see it doesn't work because of the fact that I don't check the task name itself. But if I go here and I just go to conditional formatting here, I'm going to create a rule for when the task is empty. So here, for the task here, I'm just going to put F, but with that dollar before the 8. So if this is equal to blank, I want to put my formatting here. And I think that'll be easier. I'm sure you can forgive me for the double handling here. And I'm doing this now. It's a different gray, so we'll see in the end if we like it or not. So now what we need to do is, if we put 0% here, you can see that the color has changed. And the color has changed because we have in our conditional formatting here, we just check first if the task is blank. So if task is blank, we apply this gray, but this is being overruled by this rule here if the completion percentage is 0. So now while I'm here, I'm going to do 2 things. First, I'm going to put a deeper gray here. This is not yeah, let's try with this one. And I'm going to put a deeper blue as well while I'm at it. It's just a bit tricky to make sure that you can read it enough. So I'm just going to put, yes, let's try with this one. Okay. Now, while I'm here, okay, now I'm going to do it all. I'm going to duplicate this rule twice here. And when the completion is equal to 1, sorry, that means that the task is completed. That means 100%. So we're going to want to have something quite dark. Is this one darker than this one? So it's all going to be very dark. Okay. it's going to be very dark. And when the conditional formatting is greater, I'm going to have to put an N here. So when it's greater than 0, and when the same cell I8 is smaller than 1, then we are in progress. So therefore we have an in-between color, which should be, I think there might be a bit too many. We'll have to have a look at the end if it's all a bit too dark here. Now let's just check. Let's just put some more tasks here. Let's see how we go. If I put this one, let's say 50%, and if I put this one 100%, so it's quite dark, but it's visible. It's okay. So do you see what I've done? I've just selected based on the percentage here, 0, 50, 100%, different shades of blue. And if there's obviously no tasks, then it's all 0. So I'm just going to do a little bit of tidy up. I'm just going to center all this. So now I'm going to add some more random tasks, so it's make things a bit easier to for you to visualize. Okay, now I'm back. What I was thinking I could add, so I've added just some tasks here, and I've just applied priority estimate and the like. So obviously it's a little bit clear what we're trying to achieve. But I think we need to add some resources. So even if you don't have resources, I'm just going to add it. So if you don't want to use resource, you don't have to add it. But I'm just going to add it here. This way, that would allow us to have a look at how to do some data validation if you don't know how to do it. That is not hard-coded. I've done hard-coded for the priority. And for the RAG, now I want to refer to a different tab for this. So let's say we have a list of resources here. So I'm clicking here and I'm creating another tab that I'm going to call settings or parameters. And this one, I'm just going to rename this one dashboard. So what do I want here? I want to create a resource list, a very basic resource list. So I'm just going to select a basic color field. I'm just going to put what here. Okay, here I can write resources. And here I'm just going to copy some random resources here, if you like. Here, actually this is so light, I might just put in. Okay. Now I have a few resource names here. Now what I want to do is I want to go back here and being able to validate using this list. So I'm just going back to my data validation here, and here I'm just put list again, but instead of hard-coding, I'm just going to the source. Let's go back to the source. And here I'm just going to select the full list. Don't worry about some cells being blank. Excel can deal with that one quite well. So look, when I go back here, I can select, and it just leaves one blank at the bottom. So this is quite good. It is quite dynamic in a way. So here I just can randomly, something that I need to do now is I need to clear all this, and I need to make sure this is applied to the full table here, full column. So here I'm just going to put this one, I'm going to put that one. Just going to do a bit of allocation. Okay, so we have a table that's starting to look complete. Before we go to the next step, which is to calculate some totals, what I want to do is to name some columns in a table. So that will make everything easier and hopefully easier for you to understand the tutorial, so you don't have to refer to column letters, but instead you can refer to column names. So I'm just going to rename this, and it might be easier if I just show you how I do it. So the way I do it is I select the full column here that have the column I'm interested in, and I'm just going to go into this cell here at the top, and I'm just going to call it task. And I press enter twice, and now I can refer to this full column here. It's always going to show task, and I'm going to do that for most of the columns, so this will be easier. I'm going to go here. I'm not just going to call this one priority. This one estimate. Oops, I messed it up. Estimate. Now, when you make this mistake here, you need to go back to formula. You need to go in the name manager, and you see it's kept both, so you need to delete one. And he asked me if I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure. And then here you go. Here I can put resource. I'm going to put resource. Enter twice. If you don't press enter twice, it's going to think you're trying to go somewhere. Using the letters, completed percentage, yes. I'm just going to put completed here. Completed. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to be using them all, but I'd just like to do this. Rag, enter twice. Not, obviously not. Work done, yes, probably. Although I'm not really sure. I'm just going to put done here. And here I'm going to put outstanding. Outstanding. Okay, so that's going to make everything easier, believe me, trust me. So here I'm just going to do some totals, just low profile totals. I just press on the auto sum here and I just put all the work done. Yeah, it doesn't hurt. So this is the total work done and the total outstanding. This will be also useful for the chart. Feel free to make it a little bit better. Just going to use the white grid this time and the fill a bit darker than I had it. Okay, so this is it. So now we can start working on some totals. For the totals, I'm just going to do them here very lazily if you want, because I just want to use the resources as well. So this is one of the totals that we want to have. For each resource, we want to be able to check the work that has been done and the work outstanding. So for instance, this resource here, James Wilson, is working on this, on that, and on this. So what we want to do is for James, we want to total the work done. And we want to total the outstanding, and we add all that up, and we can show that on the chart. So let's do this. Work done. Okay. So how do we check the work done? So it's not a count if, then it's a sum if. We want to be able to add everything here. So the resource. So this is where you're going to see how convenient it is. Sum if resource is equal to what? Is equal to this cell here. So here I'm just going to select only the resource in the table that has James Wilson as a text in it. And the other criteria is, actually I'm just going to, if I'm doing a sum ifs, I might just want to do a sum if here because there's only one criteria. Say range, and I'm going to press on this so it will be easier for you to see. So the range resource is equal to F10. And what range do I want to add? I want to add the work done here, so I did well in the end to keep this as a named range. So I just okay, let's do this. I forgot to. We are live, guys. Okay, juices and the fill as well, please. Oh, that might be a bit darker, but okay. So this is very good. Now I'm just going to take this. I'm going to use the format painter, and I'm going to repaint this. So this is not a dashboard, so it doesn't have to be extremely pretty. So I'm just going to finish the painting here. Okay, so work done. And I want the outstanding here. Outstanding. Voila, okay. Guess what? It's going to be the same thing here. And now, as those are named, I can just lazily copy and paste. But if I want to copy and paste, I need to make sure that I lock the F here because this is where the resource is. So if I lock the F by just adding $1 on top, okay, and I press enter, and then I just drop it this way. Make sure it goes all the way down. And then I drag that to the left, to the right. I got all my colors and my right, left, wrongs when I do tutorials for some reason. I hope it's not too confusing. So outstanding, and here you can notice that I'm referring to resource because I logged the $F, and the resource cell obviously is still the same here, the name table, but it's a DON that I need to change. Let me click on this. It's the DON that I need to change, and now you see how easy it is. And I put outstanding instead. If I can spell it properly. Okay, let's see. Bingo. So there you go. So if you're bothered by those 0, you can just do a nasty formatting where you say you don't want the 0. You do a custom here, and you just put hash, and I should remove the 0. Okay. So there's someone here not doing any work. I can do the totals. So this is just to check that I don't have to start this tutorial from scratch if it's wrong. Okay, let's have a look. 121, yes, 169. Okay, very good. Now this is done from the resource. So this will give us the chart on the resources. Now, we have other charts to do, guys. It's not it's not over yet. I'm just going to write here what I want. So I want the total on task, the task status. Okay, status. So for this, I want the total tasks. I want the task not started. I want the tasks in progress. That's what we had with colors. And we want the tasks completed. Okay. I'm just going to swap those 2 columns around, if I can do it. Okay, that was easy. So I'm just going to extend this a bit. Okay. Hopefully it's all clear here. I'm just going to give some color. So now we have to do this calculation for task status here. So how many tasks do we have? So there's several ways to calculate how many tasks we have. We can use count A. That will tell us how many of those cells are not blank. But we also can do a count ifs. So if I do a count A here, just to show you how we could do it, count A, it's count A, and you select all these. So this is telling me there are 15 tasks. So the other way it would have been to use a count if. So you count if the cells here that are not blank, but I'm just going to do the count A, sorry. I'm just going to cut this, and I'm just going to put it here. Now, task not started. So here I need to do a little bit like for this one. I need to check all the tasks. I need to check all the tasks that are that have a 0% here. So that would mean they have not started. But in order to also need to check that there is something here, because here you would have a 0%, but there is no task. So I need to do two checks here. So I need a count ifs. So hopefully you have count ifs. I think it's a relatively recent function of Excel. If you don't have it, you're just going to have to do it in 2 steps. Count ifs, the criteria range. The first one is I need to check that the task is not blank. Just do it this way, just put it this way. The second criteria is that the completion percentage, which is completed, is equal to 0. And this is where we're going to see if this works or not. 5 not started. So that means there are 5 that have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was close. Whew. Okay, we have 5 here. Now completed. Completed, it's going to be the same, right? Okay, task not blank. I'm just copying it across. And completed is equal to 1, which is 100%. So I'm just going to put 100%, so it's a bit clearer. So we have 3 completed. Completed, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now the reason why I was putting tasks in progress on the right-hand side is that this way I don't have to do the double check to see, to check if the completion status is above 0 and smaller than 100%. What I'm going to do lazily is I'm going to take the total of tasks and I'm going to deduct the task not started and the task completed. So that gives me the balance, if you want, the reminder. So I hope this is not too small for you. I'm just going to put that a bit bigger. Okay, so we have the totals here, so that will be useful for our first chart. Now the workload status that we want also in our chart, it's here. So that's 120, 169. We can use this one. I don't have to redo the calculation. Now I wanted to have a chart with only the high priority. So how is this going to work? High priority, I just need to also, same as here, I want to just do the total tasks. I'm just going to do the COUNTIF, this one, COUNTIF. The range will be the priority. And this is where it's a bit dangerous, is I have to make sure that I have no typo. So I put high here. And here I have 4. So, and just in case you didn't see that, the range is a priority range, and the criteria must be equal to 0. So the priority range, well, not equal to 0, sorry, equal to high. High, 1, 2, 3, 4. You got it. Okay, so that's done. Now, a little bit trickier is we want to check the tasks that have a high priority and that has not started. So once again, double criteria here. So I'm just going to copy this. So I'm going to do a COUNTIFs. I'm going to add the S after the COUNTIF here. And so this is my first criteria. The priority is high. And the second criteria should be the completed status is equal to 0%. 0%. I have 1. And I'm going to take a big risk. I'm just going to do everything else, assuming it works. Here I'm just put completed is equal to 100%, and I'm going to do the same trick as here. 4 minus 1 minus 1. So this should be the task in progress. So I should have, as far as high priority, I should have a total of 4 with 1 not started, 1 completed, and 2 in progress. Drum rolls. High priority. Okay. High priority completed 0. High priority completed 0. I can only see 1. High priority completed. I can only see 1. And then the rest 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Oh my God, it works. I'm just going to add some borders. Some borders. Okay, so that's it. Now, green, amber, and red. So for this, there's another chart where I split between green and red. Does it make sense if a task is open or if the task is completed, this total? I thought about it, and what I've decided after a long discussion with myself is that I'm just going to put all the greens, all the ambers, and all the reds, regardless of their status. So, this way that will show all the red tasks that you have. Usually when a task is completed, it turns to green, so that it depends on how you want to play it. So I'm just going to put the format painter here only. So how do we calculate how many tasks are green? I mean, by now you know, due to this. So I'm just going to copy that lazily here. COUNTIF rag is I don't even need to do this. I can put that here instead. 7 green, 4 and 4. Green, 4 and 4. So I'm just going to remove the red. I put it amber, 5 and 3. So that seems to be working. The total, is that still okay? 15 total. Perfect. Wow. Wow. I mean, we can still obviously work on this a little bit more. We can do some fancy stuff, but this is not a dashboard. As I say, you don't have to be pretty here. You shouldn't have to touch this anymore. Maybe you would touch this. Maybe you would not this, but you could add some resources here. So, okay, so this is done. Now we are left with what? With doing the charts. Now, if you want to highlight the green, amber, red, you know how to do now. But I didn't want to add more colors. You can go and create a new rule. And this time, if you want just to highlight this, you can just do a conditional formatting, a new rule, or even one that contains a new rule, format only cells that contain. And here you can put equal to green. And here you can put the format green. And then if you apply it to everybody, you have, it works. It's pretty hard to read, but I just wanted to show you how to do it if you want to do it. I didn't want to add more colors. Okay, so this is it. The next step is going to be me doing the charts. Okay, the first chart will be the resources. If you've done some of my tutorials, you know how it works. Let's do it again. Okay, so usually advise to have pretty short names here. You can even put initials only if you like. It'll be easier for the chart. So now I'm just going to select the table here. So you can either select, if you have a fixed amount of resource, just only select the resource, or you can select a couple more if you want, depending on where you want to put the fancy graphics that we have. And here I'm just going to go and insert, and I'm going to look at this more column chart here. So I'm going to select the 2D column, and I'm going to select the stacked column here. Okay. So if you're lucky, what you can do is you can go here and select the blue, and with a bit of luck, you can find the look that you like. But for me, I think I want to stick to my color scheme. And the system that I want to have is everything that is dark is done, and everything that is lighter is outstanding or not started. So here, for instance, I want this to be in the same blue that I have everything else, which is this row here. And I want what is done, I want it in deep. I'm going to try this one. I'm not saying I'm going to stick with it. This one might be a bit too much. I'm going to do this one here. And actually, what I want to do is I want to do a shape outline that is white. Of course, you're not going to see it here. You only see it here, but we're going to remove the background. It'll be easier after. And now I still want to select this, making sure this is the outstanding. And we have decided to go lighter for what is not done. So this is where we're probably going to need to, and I'm going to add the white outline, shape outline white. Make sure that you select this when you put shape outline. Now, select the chart, making sure that you select all this, and go under shape fill and put no fill, please. And if you're minimalist like I am, just make sure that you click on the grid, not on the chart. Make sure that you see all those little dots at the end of the grid only, and then you press delete. Okay. Now what else? Okay, he hasn't taken the resources. I didn't select the resource, so that's okay. So my theory is I don't want to put any legend to this. I want it to be obvious. Being minimalist here, obviously you're more than welcome to add a chart title and explain. But you know, if we have the consistency that what is done is a deeper blue, I think it's pretty obvious. Now, talking about pretty obvious, the chart now is not very obvious because we didn't put the resource name. So I should have selected the resource as well, but I'm just going to add it now here. I'm just going to select actually the second one, and I'm just going to select the resource, and they should pop up. So you put between the first comma should be the title, so which we removed. After the first comma, you can select the source here. So, oops, let's remove this. What I should have done really is I should have taken all this, do an insert here, and then it still doesn't work. Is it because, hang on, insert this. Yeah, because I selected a blank column, it didn't like it. So when you don't select a blank column, the resource comes in immediately. Okay, I hope that was not too distracting. Now, I'm just clicking on the resource here that I've added, and I want them in white, obviously. And if you want to be fancy, you could format them and have a bit of an angle here, which is going under the alignment tab. And put, what was it? Angle counterclockwise. Okay, here you go. And do you want to show this? So if you really want to show it, you put it in white. And now I click again on this, and I want to remove the outline, shape outline. No, so now that's it. So now what do? I just cut it, Control X, and I want to put it here somewhere. And I want to put it aside, and here I'm just going to make sure that I have enough room for it. And this is going to be here at some point. Okay, so this will be okay for the time being, but I'll come back to it. If you want to, let's just do format data series. If you want to change the gap width and the overlay, you can play with this. For instance, here I have 140. If I put 100, it makes them a bit bigger. The series overlap, you can put 50. Oh, no, don't do that. 100%. So here, if you want a gap width to be smaller, so that will mean they will take more room. But if you want a bit more room, you just put, hang on, 200%. So this is up to you, depending on how many resources you have. Now, I'll do all the emoticon tabs in the end, because you might not be interested in this stuff. So as you can see now, as I have selected 2 more resources, there's some room here, so that I can put an icon here. Otherwise, I could have just selected the resource and I could put the icon somewhere else. So here we don't have a lot of resource, so it's pretty airy, it's pretty good. I might just allocate something to Eva Santos to see if she turns up there. Eva Santos, oops. So that works. She hasn't started. Okay. Now let's keep going with the other charts. Okay, what do we have? The task status first. If I can say it properly, task status here. So here, I'm going to change this again. Sorry, guys, but I just wanted to have the tasks that are completed first. So completed, in progress, and not started. So I'm just going to select these cells here, and I'm just going to drag them here. And then I'm going to, for consistency, I'm going to put that back here. So I've done that because this way the chart that I'm going to create will be in order: completed, in progress, not started. I'm not going to take the columns, I'm just going to take this. And I'm just going to do an insert, and I'm going to insert, which one do you think? Shall we try this one? Okay, so that must be because of my default, but I have some white in between here. So if you don't have it, and if you want it, obviously, you can just go in the format and add the format outline and add some white here. So for me, I've already done it. I like it. I think it separates well. So we said we'll go from, ideally, we have the same color as here. So this would be a nice consistency. So now we have the task completed 3, in progress 7, and not started 5. So we are in this order. We are in a clockwork, completed, in progress, and the shamed not started is here. So I'm just going to, this time I'm just going to cut it now, and I'm going to put it here. Okay. So why do I put it here? That's because I want to make sure that, first let me remove the legend. We talked about that already. This, I want it outside, so I'm just going to remove it. We talked about that. We want to have the same deep blue here, or as close as possible. So I'm just going to go back here, and it's in a recent color. I'm just going to take this one, because remember we did change that color. But actually, I'm going to use this one. We'll see why later. I'm going to use this one here. So staying with the same color. And the second one, I wanted roughly this one, which is, which one is it, you think? No, this one. Wrong one. Let's have a look. This one here. And the third one would be the lighter blue. I mean, nobody's going to measure it, so. And then what do I want to do with this? I want a shape fill with no fill. No. I need to select the chart, not that this. I'm just going to select on the side of the chart, shape fill, nothing. And this is it. As usual, I want to remove the shape outline. No outline. Okay. Okay, so that's one done. Obviously, see everything about the idle fits in. It's not too cramped there. Cramped. Now, high priority. High priority, let's go back here. So it is more or less the same. We have completed, in progress, not started. So I'm just going to do the same here. Insert by here. I'm going to remove everything here. Just shape fill, no fill. Shape outline, no outline. Shape title, I remove. Legend, I remove. For the next one, I could just copy this one as a starting point, see where it takes me. Just I want to remove this. Okay. Okay. If I delete. Yeah, oh my God. Okay, so that was a tenacious one. Now the priority, completed, the high priority, sorry, completed. What did I want with this? I wanted to go for green. I mean, once again, don't follow me. I'm not a designer, but if you want to do something a little bit similar, you would take this one and then do something a little bit, hang on. The first one should be the darkest one. Okay. The second one here should be. Oh, this is too subtle. I don't like this green. Well, let me put this green for the time being, and we see how we progress after, because I could spend all afternoon on this. So I'm just going to put this for the time being. I have the right to change. Let's just cut this dashboard, put it here. Okay, that's done. All right. Let's do another one. Workload, the workload. So the workload, it's easy. We have it here. So I just do an insert. Insert this. I'm just going to remove format. I'm just going to remove the no fill. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to remove the legend this time. It goes first time. And then I'm just going to select something. I'm just going to select the orangey brown this time. And I'm going to leave the other as it is. Okay. So let's just put that here. Now there is the outline. I put no outline. And then the rag status. So the rag status, I wanted to show you if this works. I'm just going to duplicate that, Control D. I'm just going to do a Control X, and I'm going to get it back here. And here, as far as the series is concerned, I'm going to remove what I had here, and I'm just going to put here, and I'm just going to select those, and let's see if it works. Sometimes it just puts you back the colors. Okay, so it changed the colors, but at least it did all the other formatting for me. So I'm just going to put the green as a deeper purple here. What do you think? Well, let's try with this. Not every color has the same intensity. And then this will be... yeah. Okay. How do you think? Okay, so that's another one. Okay, so now just let me do a bit of formatting. Let's try and bring all this together. Okay, well, I could spend all day on this. I'm not sure about the greens. We'll see. Okay, so now there's 2 or 3 things we need to do. We need to put some, I like to put some high-level titles because it's already minimalist enough. But I would like to put some titles for each chart. So I'm just going to put a text box here. So you have to be careful that you don't put inside the chart, otherwise it's going to be locked in the chart. But if you're lucky, you can go here under the shape format and you can find the format that you like directly here. Hang on, let me put some text first. Task status. Let me center all this. Put it bold, and then you going back here. If you're lucky, you can try some things with the same color here, see if he likes it. But for me, what I don't want to do this. I just want to go back here and just take the same blue to make sure. It's not very convenient when it's on the other side, is it? So just going to put this one here, put the white font, task status here. And I already have the little white border to it. That's it. So what is important is you want to make sure that you do the first one right, because after it's going to be a copy and paste. So are you happy with this? If you're happy with this, you can duplicate it. You duplicate by Control D, you put it here. And this way, if you press Control D again, that puts it automatically. So that's a good way to have your spacing right, because Microsoft is just putting the same distance between each, and this way you can reuse these to make sure they are equidistant. There are other ways to do it, but this one will do for today. So now this is not task status, this is a rag. So I'm just going to click on this again, and this I'm going to go back to the purple here. Purple. Okay, I was just checking I'm still recording because I don't want to do that again. Okay, so let's have a look. Task status. So we just need to make sure that it is the same depth here. Let's see if this one is gonna play. Okay. This is definitely not the green I had in mind, but it doesn't work too badly. So there are ways to align this. It's just in case you don't know. I think the best way is you go under Find and Select here, and you select Objects, and say you take all these here, and you make sure that they are all selected, and then you go under Shape Format, and you go under Align, and Align Middle. Poof. Okay, so they didn't do anything. That means they were perfectly aligned. Now you do the same with this. See, when there's one missing, you don't want to do it. And then you go under Align and you align Middle and you make sure that they're all aligned. Now this is pretty much it. If you really want to be as playful, fancy that I've been in my demo, I just added some icons here. So just insert, it's not really, yes, it's icons in the way. So you need to find icons that I try and represent this. So here I have priority here. I think this is priority. That's good. I think this is showing you that there's a priority here. The other one is status. I think this is not going to give me anything status, but instead I'm just going to put tasks. Okay, so task status, there's several symbols for tasks. What do you think? Oh, I need to rename those, sorry. The task status and then the rag. So this would be the workload. I'm just going to take one for the task status. One that has half ticked. Is there one half ticked? Yes, this one. Don't worry, they're all taking them into account. This is giving me a count here, insert of 2. I want a flag. A flag for the rag. And what do I want for workload? I mean, for workload, I might just go back to people, actually, just see if it works. People, okay, people. I'm going to put this here. Okay, so now if I insert the 4, they are so black, I don't even know where they are. So I just need to put this into white, at least to start with. And then I'm just going to put them smaller. This way they get all them smaller at the same time. Put them a little bit smaller. Okay, now I need to put them apart. But before, I'm just going to do the workload stuff. Workload. I'm going to do the high priority. I'm just going to put PTY. So it fits in. So the high priority will be here. If you're happy with the size, you can start putting the, I've put very fancily a bit of a green here. If you think this is too much, you can leave them obviously in white. Task status, it's here. So here I have the green, blue. Do it all the time. Here you go. Might be a bit too subtle. Here, workload, and now I'm really looking forward to tell you about the last trick I have. So this is very high quality in a AI world. Now I wanted to show you. So here you can put your little people here. Whichever color you like. I'm going to stick to my blue, okay? There's already enough coloring there. So these two are a little bit too similar, don't you think? There's the color here, so maybe this, that's it. I think that stands out a bit more. I'm not a designer. I know I don't need to say it, but okay, so here I want to put some, I want to have some fun here. You're going to graphic format, and I think it's, you convert to shape. So now what happens is they all separate here. So you can give this one, for instance, a brown head if you want. Now, this is very high level stuff, guys. So if I want to leave the front one in white, for instance, and I want to put this one in a deeper blue, I don't know. So as soon as you can see, if you just convert to shape, you can have different elements here and here now, but you can still play with them all at the same time. So yeah, so this guy's head really doesn't work. just to show you. Let's put it back to blue. So let's have everyone the same head color, please. So this one should be white. Yeah, at least the same head color. Okay, and this one. So what does this have to do with time management or task management, you ask me? Well, nothing. It's just I just wanted to have a bit of fun with this. Okay. So what have I forgotten? See, this you cannot see very well, but that's the idea. Is that you don't really need the task number here. Here you can put it bigger. You can just I think this might be a bit big, but for the time being, I'm just gonna leave it as is, and hopefully I haven't forgotten too much. All right, it's gonna be time to close this. I don't know how long it's taken, but I hope it was useful for you, and I see you soon. So obviously, I have a lot of those task lists. Some one where you can put even several resources on the same task. Some with a little bit more complex, maybe less fancy looking, but more complex calculation. So feel free to have a look on my channel list. All right, I'm just going to close this. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon.